Imagine signing up to serve your country, only to find yourself questioning the very orders you're given. Is this what you signed up for? That's the bold question being posed by a series of billboards targeting troops in North Carolina, and it's sparking a conversation that's both urgent and deeply controversial. But here's where it gets even more thought-provoking. These billboards aren't just asking questions. They're offering a lifeline to service members who may be grappling with the legality and morality of their missions. In Fayetteville, North Carolina, a billboard bluntly asks, "Did you go to Airborne just to pull security for ICE?" This is one of two billboards erected last week near two of the largest military bases in the country, Fort Bragg and Camp Lejeune. These signs are part of a campaign led by veterans organizations About Face, Veterans Against the War, https aboutfaceveterans.org, and Win Without War, https winwithoutwar.org, about what we do. Their mission? To reach troops who might be questioning the legality of their orders, as the government increasingly deploys the military for domestic duties, including immigration enforcement and law enforcement. And this is the part most people miss. The billboards direct service members to a website called Not What You Signed Up For, https notwhatyousiguedupfor.org, where they can access encrypted email and messaging platforms. These resources connect them with experts, including the GI Rights Hotline and the National Lawyers Guild's Task Force on Military Law. It's a lifeline for those who feel trapped between duty and conscience. Harrison Mann, Associate Director for Policy and Campaigns at Win Without War, explains the urgency. "We have several cities where the administration has threatened to send in the National Guard," he says. Mann, a former Army major, resigned from the Defense Intelligence Agency in 2024 over the Biden administration's use of military hardware to support Israel's war with Hamas. "We want to make sure those troops know their rights and understand their options," he adds. So far, the campaign has sponsored 3 billboards. The Fort Bragg sign is strategically placed between Bragg Boulevard and the All-American Freeway, 2 major routes troops take to enter the base. At Camp Lejeune, the billboard sits on Lejeune Boulevard, just off the bridge leading to the main gate. A third mobile billboard has been driving around Washington, D.C., where National Guard members have been deployed since August. But here's where it gets controversial. Since last summer, the Trump administration has deployed troops in law enforcement roles, often against the wishes of local leaders and residents. For instance, 700 Marines and 4,000 National Guardsmen were sent to Los Angeles in June, and over 2,000 National Guard troops from 7 states are currently in Washington, D.C. Additionally, nearly 1,700 National Guard troops from 19 states have been authorized to support Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, performing tasks like collecting biometric data and scheduling appointments. This growing trend has progressive veteran groups and military legal experts worried. They fear troops could face orders that conflict with their conscience or be deemed unlawful in future courts-martial under different administrations. James M. Branham, one of the lawyers troops can connect with, notes that many younger service members are saying, "This is not what they signed up for." Meanwhile, more senior troops are just biding their time, trying to keep their heads down. Here's the kicker. Branham expected to hear from unhappy guardsmen, but he's been counseling more active duty troops who are reading the writing on the wall and concerned about what's coming. Brittany Ramos de Barros, organizing director for About Face, knows this struggle firsthand. After joining the Army on an ROTC scholarship and deploying to Afghanistan in 2012, she grew disillusioned with the gap between the military's stated mission and the reality on the ground. She began speaking out, was threatened with a court-martial, and eventually discharged. "The military's purpose is to carry out violence as effectively and efficiently as possible," de Barros says. "Sending Marines to LA to keep the peace is one of the most antithetical things you can do." She sees the domestic deployments as a reflection of the same lesson she learned in Afghanistan. The military's use for peacekeeping or diplomacy is not realistic. Harrison Mann, reflecting on his 13-year Army career, admits he never questioned the lawfulness of his orders. But now, with the increasing politicization of domestic deployments, he wants to ensure troops know their rights. I don't want the first time a soldier thinks about responding to an unlawful order to be when it's shouted at them in Baltimore or Memphis, he says. We need to start that conversation now. But is it legal to encourage military members to question orders? The military's manual for courts-martial states that service members can defend against obeying an unlawful order if they knew it was unlawful, or if a person of ordinary sense and understanding would have known. However, refusing an order comes with significant risk, as the lawfulness of the order would be determined by a military judge. Earlier this month, a federal court in California ruled that the deployment of troops to LA was illegal, violating the Posse Comitatus Act, which prohibits federal troops from enforcing domestic laws. Yet, Pentagon Press Secretary Kingsley Wilson dismissed the billboard campaign, claiming Win Without War is not a veterans group and uses Democratic money for poorly designed graphics. Here's the question that lingers. Is it ever wrong to question orders, especially when those orders may violate the law or one's conscience? And if so, who bears the responsibility? The service member, the commander, or the government itself? Let's keep the conversation going. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below.